is this Sunday.
November 11th is also the 100th anniversary of Armistice Day that ended World War I. A group of Madison musicians will take the stage at the Barrymore Theater for an original stage show called The Greatest War, World War I, Wisconsin, and Why It Still Matters. Musician Ken Fitzsimmons, a member of the popular local band The Kissers, is leading the project. Welcome to Live Before Ken. Great to see you.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me.
So tell us what the inspiration for this project was.
Well, as a young man, I was interested in war history, and I studied the Civil War for a while and World War II. And one day I was in the bookstore and I looked and I saw a small stack of books between the many volumes for those two wars that was about World War I. And I thought that was an awfully ominous title for something that I knew so little about. So I grabbed a book and read it and got sucked in from there.
So how did you take that information and turn it into a rock and roll show?
Well, I combined a hobby with something I knew.
Okay.
Right? So I know music. I'm a historian by hobby. I mean, it was in a sense we're all historians, I suppose, to some extent.
Yeah.
I wanted, I felt, the more I read about it, the more I felt felt very important to know this history. It actually affects us in ways, I think, more than we actually realize. And so I wanted to find a way to convey that in a medium that is familiar to me. And here we are playing rock songs about it.
What is the Wisconsin connection and why does it still matter, do you think?
Well, that's a great question. So in the show, we highlight a number of Wisconsinites in it through their stories, songs we've written about them. And in a sense, it's Wisconsin's part in the greater picture of the world and what happened. And the first time, for example, the United States ever went to war to make the world safe for democracy. That was a new thing then. And many, thousands of Wisconsinites went. And of course, we're affected by, as a nation and as a state, affected by many of the consequences of that war even today.
So it's not just your band, the Kissers. You called up other musicians?
That's right.
And what was their reaction?
That's right. They thought it was really cool. They weren't, it wasn't too hard to sell the musicians on it. So the Kissers are playing about half the show. We do 22, 23 songs in the show. And I wrote about 7 songs, but then we contacted a band called the November Criminals out of Milwaukee. And that's actually a name based on World War I. That was the name that the Germans who surrendered or signed the armistice were called the November Criminals. And they're actually a World War I themed polka hip-hop band.
What?
No joke.
Wow.
Polka hip-hop.
Polka hip-hop, yeah. They're great. And then the Viper and his famous orchestra, also from Milwaukee, who specializes in early 20th century music, so that was an easy fit. Sean Michael Dargan, who's part of the production team, was part of it back years ago, and he was just all gung-ho for it. So it's been great. Hannah John Taylor was also playing a song in it.
That's great.
Yeah, he really liked it, and he knew the stories that we were talking to him about.
So years in the making, it finally comes to the stage Sunday night.
It's true.
Production of The Greatest War is Sunday, November 11th, 7 p.m. at the Barrymore Theater. Tickets are just $15. For more information, go to barrymorelive.com. Ken, best of luck.
Great
what a
to
great
see you.
idea.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Best of luck with it.
Have a good show.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.